Hey, Mark Rodriguez here, and you're watching America's #1 cure for insomnia, the Diving Cutter Wrestling Podcast. And with me are
William White, aka Ninja Panda 1980.
Wendy, also Jupi channel, Ninja Jupi, and nice to see you guys again. And I'm going to turn this over to the one, the only, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man wearing the hats, Johnny Rodriguez.
Toni Rodriguez.
There we go. A new and improved lighting. No more Batman villains and anything, you know? So we're talking about AEW Forbidden Door 2024. Jack isn't with us today. If he has things to say, we'll see maybe in a future episode or something like that, because I'm sure he has a lot to say about it. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's any big wrestling news you guys want to cover real quick. Maybe the thing you told us a moment ago, William.
Okay, so apparently they're doing another Street Fighter movie. And as far as casting goes, from what I've heard, this could be a rumor. It hasn't been fully confirmed. But two of the actors they're talking about casting for Zangief are Braun Strowman and AEW's Brian Cage, who at one point even dressed like Zangief, minus the big beard. But he had the mohawk and the build going. So either way, it'd probably go pretty well. I'm not sure about Braun Strowman too much because he's got bad knees now. So if they decide to do an action scene, he'd be looking kind of Frankenstein stiff. But we'll see.
But I don't know. You know, they just had Braun Strowman and not Braun. They have Brian Cage as a stunt double.
Yeah, they could do that, but then you'd see like 1 minute he's super hairy, and then the next minute he's like all shiny and waxed up, and then he's back to super hairy again. That'd be just kind of awkward.
Yeah. Now, two things I want to say is, number one, physique-wise, Brian Cage is closer than Braun Strowman. Unless Braun Strowman drops the extra tummy or whatever.
But height-wise, Braun Strowman, I think, would be a better Zangief.
Yeah. And number two, like, say what you will about the original Street Fighter movie, whoever that dude was that was Zangief, he looked like straight out of the game, out of classic Street Fighter 2 Zangief before the newer games made him even like more cartoonishly huge or whatever. But that was like a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And also it depends on what timeline they put this movie in. Now, if they want to go for like a younger Zangief, like for like the Alpha years or something, then yeah, definitely go for Brian Cage. But if they want like that stouter, like older built, like Street Fighter 6 type look, yeah, definitely go for Braun Strowman.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was it. Start, guys. I don't think there's anything too big or whatever. We'll probably cover some of the things that happened with the recent episode of Dynamite and stuff like that. But, you know, we'll get there when we get there. I do want to say in advance, I'm probably not going to have too much to say about the matches except for some of the more major ones, because this time we actually had company over. And I got to meet all of Wendy's friends all in one big, you know, get together. We had pizza, we had hot wings, we had sodas and stuff. And I was just so distracted with like joking with the people and talking about what these restaurants are doing nowadays and all that kind of stuff and the food that I'm kind of like not, you know, I'm not going to remember too many details and everything. But let's start with the 0 hour real quick. And I do want to say that it was the most weirdest match to start off the whole show, especially with how big the Forbidden Door is supposed to be.
Yeah, so the first match for the 0 hour was what was it?
Kyle Fletcher.
No, yeah, Kyle Fletcher and Serpentico.
Yeah.
And of course, for the most part, with some of these matches, nobody could get a prediction in because we found out about it too late. And just to say, Kyle Fletcher won the match.
Yeah.
And
the only thing I want to comment is that, as usual, Serpentico is a jobber, but he always gives like a decently, you know, he's never like those people that just comes in and just gets body slammed and that's it. He always gives a match. But it's just so weird to start off with Serpentico. Like, did Kyle Fletcher have another opponent and they got sick or something? It's like, throw Serpentico in there, you know? Because remember that the 0 hour is supposed to be like the thing to entice you to be like, oh my God, this looks awesome. You know, it's free, it's on YouTube. The actual event is so awesome. Where's my wallet? Where's my credit card? I gotta buy the event, you know. And starting off the match with Serpentico, I don't think that's like you say, setting the board on fire, you know?
Yeah, I definitely gotta agree there. That was a little odd that Serpentico would be the first match. It almost did seem like he was subbing in for somebody else. Like, I really don't get that. But like you said, in the same term, yeah, Serpentico's a bit of a jobber, but he's not an easy jobber. He's not gonna get like Goldberg anytime soon and have like a 5-second squash match. So, I mean, he's at least gonna make it interesting, which it was an interesting match. You knew where it was gonna go, but still, that was a really weird choice to start the 0 hour with. It really was. Still a good match, though. Just a really odd choice. I don't get why they did that.
Yeah, I'm sure for like some of the friends watching, they were kind of impressed because they kind of got an idea. Because of course, Serpentico's good at doing all the flippy shit. But it was kind of whatever. Because me and Wendy, like, we already know who's gonna win the match. We already knew Kyle was gonna win. You know, they're like, stop dragging it out, guys. We know Kyle's gonna win. You know, that kind of thing. Quick thoughts, Johnny.
You don't remember, don't blame you.
I thought that the match was good. It's Kyle Fletcher. I'm kind of a Kyle Fletcher fan, so he's good. He's very talented. I feel like he just gets better and better every time he's on the ring. Serpentico, he's also good. He does all the flippy shit, but obviously we already knew that Kyle Fletcher was going to win. But yeah, it was kind of weird. This match was like the first match, but I forgot what happened at my mind is foggy right now, but I forgot what happened in Ring of Honor that Kyle Fletcher got defeated. I forgot who defeated him. I forgot who defeated him.
Never been having a Ring of Honor. We haven't been watching it. We've just been so busy.
But it was kind of interesting that after that defeat, like, okay, he came back and he's like, I'm still going to win this match.
I swear to this day, the only matches Serpentico has ever won was when he was tag teaming with the guy from
he lost. He lost to Briscoe. I'm my bad. He lost to Briscoe. That was the big deal.
Oh, Kyle Fletcher lost to match to Briscoe?
Mm-hmm. So kind of interesting that it's kind of like it's kind of like that aftermath effect feeling that like, okay, he got beat up by
By Briscoe?
By Briscoe, but then like, okay, now this whole pay-per-view thing is going on and he's fighting with Serpentico. And so kind of like reconfirming that, hey, Kyle Fletcher still got it,
Okay. Well, I want to say, like I said, I think the only time Serpentico has ever won a match was when he was tag teaming with that guy from Hybrid 2. And even then, it's because that guy gets the pin. And they're a tag team by default. Serpentico won, but it's But anyways, yeah, like Wendy said, that match came out of nowhere. So obviously there was no way either anyone. Well, okay, we all would have voted for Kyle Fletcher. Let's be honest.
And the other thing too, when I just saw that coming out, I said, okay, so it's going to be the Willow match. It's going to be Sir Kyle Fletcher. Wait, what? What? And I had to go and add them in, just like the next match that's about to come out. Same thing. I had to add it in because I kind of forgot because I think they mentioned it on Collision for the next Dark match. But we were both half asleep. I totally forgot to write it down.
Yeah.
So the next Dark match was the House of Black versus Private Party versus the Undisputed Kingdom versus Kyle O'Reilly with Ishii. And it was a mess.
I mean, it's a pretty good match, but it was one of those matches that, like Wendy always says, there's so many people that it's kind of hard to keep track of who's the legal man in the ring.
Yeah, and I hate stuff like that because they never follow their own rules. So that's why I hate matches like that.
Yeah. But I mean, it was an entertaining match. I mean, it was a good way for everyone to see him. And I was joking with Wendy's friends that, like, in this show, you're probably going to see like most of the roster in this show tonight and everything. So that was pretty cool. But, it was a good match, but it is easy to get confused as to who's supposed to be the legal man, who's here, who's what, who's whatever.
Yeah, but one of my friends was saying, so wait, so who's working with who against that? I'm sorry, even I don't know at this point. I forgot who's supposed to be working with who. I forgot I forgot it was like a 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 8-on-8. I was just tuned out, because like I said, I just don't care for matches like this.
Yeah, like that match was kind of confusing. I remember like the cameraman was having an issue trying to keep track of everything.
As always.
Those booty butt cheeks involved.
Like at
Every
first,
time who's involved, now the cameraman's on point, you know.
Uh-huh.
yeah, and then like the flow of the match changed so fast because first you've got like, you know, Malachi and the other guy, they were practically having a martial arts match, and then the next thing you know, you got Ishii and Brody, just two big men slapping meat in the middle of the ring.
Didn't they start chanting meat?
They did that, didn't
They did chant meat.
Yep. And then you've got like, it's like, while they're doing that, it's like, oh, the two high flyers are jumping off the top rope. It's like, well, why didn't you just pan over to that? Like, what's going on? It was way too much stuff. It was interesting the parts that they did catch, but for the most part, like, that was almost one that I hate to say it. They should have done it like they do with their commercials, where you know how like during the commercial break on the side of the screen they'll still have like the actual show running.
Yeah,
They should have just done that and just had like one viewing the ring and one viewing outside of the ring so you could see like the entire thing. I think that would have made it a little bit better, but overall it was still a pretty interesting match. Just wish I could have technically seen more of it while I was watching it.
Yeah, I have the same opinion. There's just like way too much going on. Okay, so another thing that I don't like about these huge tag team matches is that I don't even feel like AEW know how to market these matches correctly, because a lot of times it just feels like, okay, we're gonna just put you guys fighting versus other people, fighting versus other people for no reason, just for the sake of, okay, let's just have this match happen. But there's like really no like great backstory behind it. Like it's just kind of, it feels like it always, I don't know why, but every time they have these matches, they always feel very like last minute.
Yeah, this
feels like it feels like a last minute thing. It just feels like, well, why are we having all this? Like, I'm not saying the concept itself of the match is good. Like, it's cool to have a 4-way tag team as long as the cameraman is able to know how to record it properly, you know, but it's the storyline that's kind of muddy. Yeah. Like, it's kind of like there, you know, like there's like no reason why there's all these matches going on.
Yeah, with that many people in the ring and everybody feeling like they have to do something at some time and not sit still, yeah, it's going to fuck up the flow of the match. It's going to make it so that it's all over the place rather than you just having like a decent dance in a way as far as the flow of the match would go. It's just, it's going to look like a train wreck whether they prepared 6 weeks ahead or 5 minutes ahead. So I don't think it was last minute. It's just they didn't, the way it was output was just so quick and so fast till, yeah, it just looks like complete and utter mayhem, which I don't know if that's what they were going for, but they succeeded.
I'm sorry. But I think this might be an unpopular opinion, but maybe these pay-per-views, they should just stop, just get rid of the 4-way tag team matches. Just do like a regular tag team match, because at least with a regular tag team match, you can follow up a lot better what's going on. But when you have that many people in the ring and they all fight so different and everybody has different personalities, it's just like, I don't know, a lot of things get lost. You know?
Yeah. And here's my problem with that. I have one major problem with that. And this comes to show, and I take back what I said as far as the planning. Maybe the planning was last minute, because I'm thinking about it like this. So we've had these multi-man, you know, tag team matches before, and they happen in the ring. They're all over the place, and the cameraman can't catch up. But at the same time, before they started doing this, they used to have stadium stampedes where there were like 20 guys in an entire stadium all over the place, but yet you never missed a single part of the action. So, yeah, something's a little buggy with that.
I don't think Tony Khan is paying he can't afford to pay to have the extra cameramen there, or he's getting amateur cameramen there. But even just going back to this match, like I said, it's all over the place, and he's supposed to be trying to entice people to want to get the actually pay for the pay-per-view. What if somebody is getting introduced to AEW and then they see this mess? It's probably going to be too confused and like, why would I want to watch this if I can't even keep up with all these people here? You know, I mean, what's their personality? What's their, I mean, I know I would be turned off by that.
Yeah.
Oh, and the winner of this match was House of Black, or as a certain someone with glasses say, the House of Black.
The House of Black.
I still like Malachi Black though.
Oh no, I do too. I don't have a problem with it, really. I mean, I like their aesthetic. But anyway, now this is where we actually start. We can actually have some predictions going. The real dark matches that we knew about is Willow and Willow Nightingale and Tam Nakano versus Chris Statlander and Momo Watanabe.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting match because we all know with Chris Statlander, she betrayed Willow at the end of the last match. Whenever she lost her title to Mercedes Moné, Chris jumped her and stuff. So now Chris is stoked there against her. So there's like this big thing here. But it also looks like Tomo and I forget the names here. Momo and Tam have their own beef. They kind of had some beef that, of course, I guess New Japan Pro Wrestling fans would know about, or Stardom people would know about. So they were also kind of getting each other's faces. And in a certain way, they did the thing where, like, I guess to build anticipation, they would always break it up. They would always try to keep Chris and Willow away from each other, drop the match, so that when they finally got each other's faces, like, oh yeah, all hell broke loose and everything. But yeah, it was a pretty good match. I was entertained by that. That one did get my attention and stuff. I think our friends were kind of impressed because of like how big and strong like Chris was.
Yeah.
And her power moves. But also because Willow with her, like, the dancing attitude and stuff she had and all that. So that was pretty good.
But I have a question, like, now, after thinking about this whole match here, was it just me, or did it feel like they were a little slower? Because I don't know, it seemed like every time...
The Joshis.
Yeah, it seemed like every time I see a match with, like, the Japanese female wrestlers, it just feels like they should be able to go faster. And I don't watch, the Joshi stuff, but it just feel like they should be. Or either like with Chris and Willow, it seemed like they were holding back while they were in the ring with them. Whenever any of them were, like, paired against either Momo or Tam. Mm-hmm. So that's just my observation, and I want to know if anyone of you guys thought that too.
It did feel a little bit slower, but I will say this. Compared to other female matches, which we'll talk about a little bit later, you notice there weren't that many like botches. The moves were way more crisp. Even like the strong attacks like between Willow and Statlander, even their stronger attacks didn't look like really botchy or anything. I think they were just trying to be a bit more careful to make things look a bit more precise, because if you notice, like, Willow and Statlander's moves, yeah, sure, they moved a little bit slower, but during their attacks, they looked way more brutal. A lot more brutal. Not to mention, I think Statlander kind of screwed up because when she went to push Nakano back, I could have swore I heard her go, "What you want to do, Momo?" It's like, wait a minute, Momo's over there. You called the wrong person by the wrong name. I don't know what's going on with that. But either way, this was a good match that, honestly, I wish would have actually been in the card of the actual pay-per-view. Like, to me, like, it was on 0 Hour. Yeah, I know it's supposed to get everybody hyped up, but it seemed like a pretty decent match that was good enough to be actually in the card of the pay-per-view. So I think it was kind of put in the wrong place. The pace was probably about at a medium speed. I wouldn't say it was like, slow, but it was more of a more cautionary speed, but even with that, it was still a good move. It was still a good match. Willow was definitely putting out some major powerhouse moves. So was Statlander. Yeah, I really enjoyed that match. I wish it would have been later on in the card, but overall, still a good match.
Yeah, especially with the build up with the animosity with Chris and Willow, that stuff more like for the actual card.
Yeah, that's I feel like that should have been a actually pay-per-view worthy thing with the actual storyline going on with them as opposed to putting the 0 out. But it is Forbidden Door, so you have to highlight the the foreign wrestlers.
Yeah. You only got to do two things to keep a rivalry going between Statlander and Willow. Cut promos. I mean, that's the main thing that's been missing with a lot of what's been going on with AEW. There's been no promos, no feuds, no actual storylines. It's just, oh, you just signed in an hour ago. I hate you. I hate you. Let's go for a title fight. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much all that's been going on like for the past couple of weeks. And it's getting dull. They need storyline. They need story.
I'm just saying, like lately, even for Tony Khan's standards, like it's very noticeable. He's just not really he's not really doing a good job, like storyline wise. Anyways, in terms of this match, I enjoyed it. It was very good. I mean, Widow is Widow, the way she fights with everything. Chris Stanlander was pretty good. And it was also interesting to see Tam Nakado and Momo Watanabe because I've never seen them before, So it's interesting to see them for the first time fighting in the ring. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's a pretty good match. And it's probably one of the best women's matches they had in this pay-per-view, in my opinion. Way better than somebody else that's, going to be featured later on in this pay-per-view that's not very impressive. I'll just leave it at that.
Uh-huh.
You know what? Honestly, I have to apologize because I think the whole thing with their lack of storyline was kind of my fault. Because when I first started here, I was drawing the Street Fighter versus AEW thing. And I think Tony Khan may have saw it and he liked the idea, but he kind of went with the vanilla version of Street Fighter 5, the one that didn't have the story mode yet. It was like downloaded like a month later. So I think that's why this is going on this way. He needs to just upgrade to the championship edition and put it as story.
I mean, I guess you could say AEW The Shadow Falls.
There we go.
All right. So for this match, I did enjoy it. I like seeing my girl Willow, and I like seeing the Japanese talent. It's always interesting to see some new talent around, right? And because I don't really watch Joshi and all that. All right. So for this match, Willow and Nakano won the match, and everybody gets a point for this one except for Jack and DJF.
Mm.
They all went for Momo and Statlander.
Mm.
Now, the next match, I didn't really care so much for this one, but it was Mariah May versus Saraya. Okay, Mariah May versus Saraya, so...
I kind of forgot why Saraya started messing with them. I guess, she's messing with Toni Storm because she's sick of her, the new Toni Storm persona and stuff, and she used to be... Did you guys all remember Toni used to be one of the outcasts before her, I guess...
Before she snapped and became a diva.
Yeah. And so now Saraya finally remembered that and started going after them. So this match was kind of like a lead up to that. And Mariah May versus Saraya. And yeah, decent match. Not much I can say about it and everything. At least some of the friends recognized her page from WWE and stuff like that. So that was interesting. And
Wait a minute. This wasn't an Owen Hart match, was it? Because Mariah May was supposed to go against Saraya.
Oh yeah, so it was an Owen Cup tournament match.
So they just put it on the review.
Yeah, but Saraya still, she still is kind of messing with Toni and all that kind of.
Oh yeah. But...
And then of course the thing is, Mariah's kind of caught in the middle because, as we see later on, We also got Toni Storm going up against what's her name?
Shirakawa.
Yeah, Shirakawa, because Mariah's like Tony's protege or whatever, mini Tony, but she's also used to be a tag partner with Shirakawa. And so near the end of the match, after Mariah May defeated Saraya, both Tony and Shirakawa kind of came to congratulate her and stuff, and they got into their spaces again. And of course, that kind of leads up to their match in the real show. And that one is kind of cool because that is a perfect lead-in. It's kind of like, oh, these guys are beefing. They want to see the real match and whip out that wallet and pay for the pay-per-view. But that was pretty good for that build-up anyway.
I don't really remember too much about that match, to be brutally honest with you. I think that's why I went to go get something to eat. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But I mean, I did watch some highlights of it. Looked like it was okay match. I mean, it's for the Owen Hart Cup. The winner is supposed to be going against Hikaru Shida. And I did see that that little divide, between Toni Storm and I forget her name. Oh Lord.
Shirakawa? Mina Shirakawa.
Between her and Shirakawa. I did see that. Now they can lead some storytelling into that, which I hope they do, but I mean, otherwise, like, just looking from the highlights, I didn't miss much.
The match itself was kind of so there weren't really any like big memorable spots. But to be fair, each episode of Dynamite has been building up more and more of the Toni versus Shirakawa feud, with the Mariah May being stuck in the middle.
Oh yeah,
With Mariah May being stuck between the boobies of both women.
Mm-hmm.
And as Wendy would say, we actually had a live action match, a Keijo, in the last episode of Dynamite or so, because Toni Storm and Mirakawa were shoving. They were bashing boobs.
Yes. I was like, hey, this is my Keijo. That's all I said. This is Keijo. I'm mad that I know what Keijo is, but anyway. Mm-hmm. And here's another problem I do have with the whole Mariah May going against Saraya thing here. And I remember thinking it at the time, and it just came back to me. So on the Wednesday before this Dynamite, they should have did this like 2 weeks ago, not right before the show. So Mina and Toni had to do the thing with the champagne and toast, but Mina didn't like it. So while Toni's back was turned, she went to get the champagne bottle and tried it. It was aiming for Toni, missed Toni, and clocked Mariah in the head. Think about that for a second. Realistically, she should not have been able to go to the Forbidden Door on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean,
she should have been forbidden from that door completely.
Yeah, exactly.
She would have got clocked over there with a champagne bottle.
Mm-hmm. I remember joking because we actually looked at Rampage. Well, part of it. And I remember one of the announcers was saying, like, I sent Mariah some flowers and all this other stuff. I hope she gets better soon. I said, hey, and I jokingly was telling Mark here, I wonder if Saraya will be clear to come back to come back on Sunday, because you know how Tony Khan is. If you want to go, you can go. She just had other concussions and glass in her head.
See, but that's nothing to Tony Khan. I mean, the guy practically broke his neck and he was out of the neck brace in like 3 days. So there you go.
Tony Khan is so rich, he has access to sensu beans. That's how Darby Allin keeps coming back.
Either sensu beans or the doctors from Baki. Because there's like no way you can come back 3 days later from a broken neck and then roll yourself down a stage when somebody gets caught on fire. So...
And that's my other issue. But you know what?
But Johnny, you know what? That's another story.
Johnny, it's too bad. If it was like Tony's father instead of Tony rolling down the stage, we could have said this old man keep rolling home.
Johnny, bring back some sanity.
About this match, I already remembered too much about it. I'm not really invested in Mariah May. I think she's better as background character with Toni Storm, but I don't know, having a whole match with Mariah May versus Saraya, like I just really didn't care too much about it, and I really don't remember much about the match, to be honest.
The other quick
I didn't
question.
watch it because of Tony's story, anyways.
There's a quick question, Panda. Were you familiar with Mariah May back when she was in Stardom or something?
I believe she was a former Stardom alumni. That would be more of like
A jackknife question, probably.
yeah, that'd be more of a jackknife question. I believe she was. Don't completely quote me on that one.
Because I do wonder what the general consensus. I haven't heard too many negative things, but I was wondering because I remember when she was first introduced, everyone lost their shit because she was like this badass, like Stardom woman and all that kind of stuff. And everyone was getting pissed because she didn't do anything. She was just there to kind of remind us that Tony signed her, but she hasn't had like an actual match or anything. And then she became Tony Storm's little protege. But now, like, now that she actually has matches, she's basically Tony Storm light. And so I don't know what the consensus is with that. Like, you bring it. Like, I'm just thinking, and it's hard for me to say because I'm not familiar with her, before or whatever. But it would be like you're bringing in, I don't know, geez, who can I think of? Let's say you bring in like I'm just saying, I'm just stupid example here. Like you're bringing in Nakamura or something, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Nakamura's an AEW and stuff." But instead of making him act like Nakamura, he's pretending to be like the Rock wannabe or something. And doing the people's elbow and stuff, and not doing his own moves, like trying to imitate the Rock and everything, like that kind of stuff. Bad example, but I'm just saying, like, what would people think about that? Because she's been
they already have a guy like that, and we'll talk about him a little bit later.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I have
I
a
think I know
rant
what
on
you're
him.
doing.
Oh, I have a huge rant on how they're using him. But we'll get to it later.
Okay. So we're going to be leaving the dark hour, the 0 hour. And the winner of this match was Mariah May. And that means that she's going to be facing Hikaru Shida later on, whenever that'll be. And the only one who got a point for this one were me and Johnny and Panda and DJF. And Jack and Mark went for Soraya. So LIJ versus Mystical paired up with the Lucha Bros. There we go.
Yeah. It was just crazy flippy shit, I think. I think it was kind of funny. I think there was only 2 people without masks in that whole match. And everything. That's the most thing I remember, and all the flippy shit. And everybody of our group here was impressed by the flippy shit and stuff. But like I said, for me, it was hard to focus. 20 people to talk to, catch up on. We're all joking here and there and eating pizza and stuff. It's kind of hard to keep track.
No, for me personally, I was like, oh God, he's flipping there, he's flipping there, he's flipping there. Who's doing what? Who's who? Like I said, same thing. It's just too much chaos. It's not even organized chaos. It's too much chaos for me to keep up with these style matches. Even if they do something impressive, I have a hard time keeping up with them.
Yeah, I agree with you. Again, looked like a really good match on paper. Looked like a really good match in the ring and for the people in the in the crowd, I'm sure. But on screen, it was just way too much chaos. And these are 2 teams that I like. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm surprised that they lost. LIJ actually lost. That really stunned me. Like, I was really surprised by that. But still, like the amount of high-flying moves that they had, they need to do a screen to catch everything because there was just so many like different highlights and different moves and stuff that they were showing while somebody else was jumping out of the ring. Somebody was doing a sunset flip into the ring. And it was just all over the place. Don't get me wrong, from what I saw, I loved it. It was even with LIJ, it was still a traditional lucha style match. It was fucking insane. But I couldn't see all of it. That's my only gripe about it. It was a damn good match, just couldn't see all of it for everything that was going on.
We're going to see you just flippy shit in picture.
Yeah, flip-o-vision, just something.
Have you guys tried this one? This new Mountain Dew Infinite Swirl.
No, I don't think I've tried that one.
I saw it today in the store. I know they got like Liberty, whatever, but this one's new. And you know what? They should, Mountain Dew should sponsor us. They got so many flavors. We should show a new flavor in each show, and they should pay our sponsors or whatever.
Yeah, like I said, this match, too much going on. I couldn't keep up. But it was interesting seeing the reactions of everyone else that was here that was watching. So that was kind of cool. But even they had, like I said, it was still pretty much the same. So who's team again? But all the
Legal?
Japanese guys are together. Who's the legal man in the ring? Who's, all that stuff. And it's like, a match should not be set up that way. We should not be asking that question. Who is the legal person in the ring? But it was crazy.
I will say this, though. There should have been a shot game involved, and it should have been take a shot every time somebody from LIJ tried to take the mask off of one of the opponents.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were trying to unmask those guys like every other move they got.
Yep.
Like, as soon as somebody hit the ground and they were looking like they were about to get him in a chokehold, like one of the masked wrestlers almost would automatically grab their chin because they knew they were going for the mask. It was ridiculous.
No respect, man. No respect, I tell you.
That's weird.
Like, yeah, I'm sitting there like, who hired you guys? Eric Bischoff? What are you doing?
Us Mexican luchadors get no respect, I tell you.
Hey, Johnny, what do you remember about this crazy match?
It's a crazy match. It's really hard to keep track of what's going on because, a lot of flippy shit here and there. Like I did enjoy watching the Lucha Brothers, doing their thing, but it's just like there's just so much going on. It's hard to keep track of what's happening with the horrible camera work that AEW seemed to be having in these last couple of pay-per-views. But it was still a good match. I liked it for what it was.
Okay. So everybody gets a point for this one except for Panda and Jack because they both went for LAJ. Now we're getting into the regular show. I'm so sorry, everyone. See, I'm so used to the 0 hour not having so many doggone matches and just a bunch of highlights and maybe a couple of matches. But seriously, there was like a whole episode of Rampage here or something. I mean,
No, this is the one match that I was predicting would be the first match due to a certain person. And we were joking about it, and yes, it was the first match.
Yeah, MJF versus Edge
settle. Because MJF likes to start it off and just go home early.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, for the match, I do want to say at the beginning, though, it was like the MJF show. He couldn't really cut promos or not. The end is coming to fight, so. He had a lot of his personality, a lot of his like smug reactions, little cheesy shit self, is full of himself, and then little strut and all that kind of stuff. So it was all MJF near the beginning. I am glad though, because I was saying like, come on, do Yoga Chisero here, you know what I mean? And you're supposed to whatever. So I'm glad that there was a part where he fucked up and then Chisero took advantage and he gave us a chance to show off his moves, a lot of stuff he could do and everything. Obviously,
strut too.
He did a strut to imitate MJF and stuff like that. But, obviously in the end, MJF won. But I'm glad that Giselle got a chance. But near the beginning, I was kind of like getting I was getting kind of annoyed because I was kind of like, okay, I get it. MJF came back and here's your chance to see your beloved douchebag to come back and do all the douchey things. But it's like, this is still forbidden door. Let's see more of what Giselle can do, So I'm glad that he had a chance to show what he could do during the match as the match progressed,
Sorry, we were talking about MJF. My bad. So yeah, like you said, this one was gonna be a gimme because he had just came back. But I'm actually surprised it actually went as long as it did, because there were some points where I thought, well, maybe I might be wrong. Maybe he might actually lose this one because like Hechicero kept constantly putting him in like different type of armbar positions. He got him in the armbar the first time. MJF tried to turn around and do the salt of the earth, but he reversed that. He put in a cross on bar. Yeah, it he almost got him in a pinfall while he was doing the salt of the earth because he kept leaning back and put his back on the apron. So I mean, it looked real. It was a really close match, but of course, MJF being back, of course he's gonna win it. Like he crowd surfed on the way in, which is kind of weird. Usually you do that on the way out, but somehow he managed to crowd surf on the way in, which I freaking blows my mind, but whatever.
That's coffee.
But yeah, like I never thought I'd say this about MJF, but it was a decent match. Not good, but it was decent.
Mm-hmm.
So, I gotta give him credit there. But yeah, it was pretty much a gimme. Like you knew he was gonna win it. So yeah.
That's the way I felt about the match. I felt that this match was just kind of like to hype up MJF because he's back. I actually don't really remember too much about the match. I was impressed by Hechicero. He looks like a very good, good wrestler. Like he has very good fighting techniques. He gave, MJF a little bit of a challenge, so I did like that. At least it wasn't an easy win for MJF. And yeah, I would like to see more of Hechicero because he seems to be pretty cool, pretty legit. But yeah, about the whole MJF thing, like I'm not really impressed. I'm kind of like whatever. We've seen MJF too many times already, so yeah, that's what it is. I mean, he still, did his thing. He defeated Hechicero, and that's what it is.
Yeah. Okay, for this one, everybody gets a point because everybody went for the obvious MJF. Like, it's MJF. He's back. Now, the next match is, okay, I know, everyone go to sleep. It's the Elite with Okada versus the Acclaimed with Tanahashi. Not gonna be like that girl the other pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yay. Anyway.
So basically the Elite and Okada beach.
I just can't with Okada, man. I'm serious. Okay, for me, I didn't get to see all of this match. I just saw the part with Max rapping, then I had to step out. But yeah, I have no opinion on this match because I didn't see it when I was coming in. The match was already over, and I was like, oh well, I didn't miss anything probably.
Yeah.
But apparently I missed, and he did it again. Apparently Okada trying to be all extra cool, going on like this and all this is kind of mess. And that's when I just and when Murr told me that, and after seeing him doing it again on either Dynamite or Rampage, one of them shows, I was like, okay, this just solidified what I said. Okada does not care. He's just there on vacation. He is there for the check. And he's just doing, he's just phoning in everything, bitch. Just can't.
Well, but that was funny. One of the dumb fucks grabbed Max Caster's headset and put it on. And while he had it on, what's his face? Okada was all like, for making fun of these dumb jokers and stuff.
And the fact that he did it again on Dynamite or Rampage or one of them shows, I mean, I was like, oh, come on now. And that just re-solidified why Okada is there. He's there in name only. And even when he does do stuff in the ring, it's more like he just phoned it in to me. That's just how I feel about him. But I don't know about how everyone else feels. But that's how I do.
All right. Yeah, this was the match I was talking about. So you've turned one of the most legendary wrestlers in New Japan Pro Wrestling history into a fucking Japanese Cody Rhodes who apparently only knows the word bitch. And you stick him on the roster. And not only that, on top of that, you take another iconic New Japan wrestler and match him with the Scissor Gang? No, wait, I take that back. The president of New Japan Wrestling. And you put him with the Scissor Gang? You instantly turn two iconic Japanese wrestlers into fucking joke characters. You automatically turn Ken and Ryu into Sean and Dan Hibiki in one fucking stroke. How the fuck do you do that, Tony Khan?
It was Ryu and Ken from the Street Fighter movie, the Raul Julia version. Right? They were like street hustlers.
That's even worse. That's even fucking worse. At least you had Raul Julia to hold up the match. Who do you got here? The Dumb Fucks and the Scissor Bang Gang. Ooh. Don't get me started on this fucking match. This was just ridiculous from beginning to end. And I agree with Wendy. Okada is only here to pick up a paycheck. He's on vacation and he's just chilling. He's just dialing it in. Otherwise, pardon my language, fuck this match. Okay? This shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. It's fucking ridiculous. And I can't. I can't even just go to Johnny. I'm gonna go throw something across the room. I'll be back.
Oh, I don't blame
in the words of Okada, scissor me, bitch.
I'm sorry when he said that. When he said that. And she was came up to the ring and interrupted them and said that that don't make sense in any context. You know what? Okada, I have heard about your greatness. Why are you allowing your greatness to be ruined here?
That shit makes about as much sense as Dwayne Johnson selling hand shampoo. Selling hair shampoo and conditioner. Make it make sense, Khan. Make it make freaking sense.
Yeah, I mean, when he said that scissor me bitch thing, I was like, so you want to get oh. I mean, I thought it was funny, but not in the right way. I was laughing. It's more like you want to laugh and cry at the same time.
I just wanted to cry.
Bitch.
Bitch.
And I mean, I know Jack would have words about this match, but the claim was involved, so I know he wouldn't have watched it. So,
oh yeah, Jack's not here, so I'm standing up for him. So
thank you. Cause I was waiting. I would love to hear the opinion on this one. I mean, cause like I said, because I know how much like he likes Okada, and I know like y'all are so into like the New Japan and all of that other stuff, and I know how y'all feel about these wrestlers, and you see how they're pretty much bastardizing them since they come to AEW. So,
like I honestly feel like they hired Okada on at the wrong time. I believe they should have kept his contract on hold until Kenny came back, at least until Kenny Omega came back, because. If you remember anything about New Japan, these guys went through 3 matches and 2 out of 3 were draws and 2 of them were Iron Man matches. So those were 2 60-minute bangers that they went through and had a draw match. And now here you are in the United States and the only thing you can do is go, sit on me, bitch. That's it.
like a mic drop moment.
That's all they give you? No.
Now, what's going on with Kenny, though? Because he came back. Was that kayfabe, or did he really get injured, or did he just come back for a moment while he's still in the middle of recovery or whatever?
He's still in recovery. Like, his injury or what have you is still indefinite. Like, they don't know what,
Then why did they
let him come back do that little
thing or whatever?
Yeah, when he actually attacked his stomach and knocked him down and all that other stuff. That's just dumb.
Yeah, he just kind of popped back up and was just like, he just popped back in an episode, just be like, hey, still alive. I'm off to go do my Twitch.
You know what? My stomach is feeling so much better today. Let me go get it beat up some more and I'll be another 6 months by on the couch on my Twitch by Tony Khan.
Yeah, diverticulitis is like really serious. I mean, the doctors even thought even that could have had it, but I was okay. But
then again, you've got Tony Khan, who also lets another wrestler who broke his foot, got hit by a bus, and all this other stuff, still wrestle and get like slammed on the thumbtacks and like
Hung upside down.
super kicked with nails on the bottom of their shoes. So
Wow,
there you
hanging
go.
upside down.
So Wendy,
While upside down.
you had that, did you go up to Marissa and say bitch?
Anyway. All I gotta say is that those Sims would be really good for Darby Allin to have done all of that.
Yeah. He wants to eat a whole pack.
Sorry we cut you off there, Johnny. What did you think
Sorry,
of
Johnny.
Process? I know you probably didn't care about this match.
Okay, so my opinion is because you can't, despite the fact that they do have Okada and they do have Hiroshi in this match, two very like popular, legendary Japanese wrestlers, together with the young dumb fucks and the freaking Acclaim. Now, don't get me wrong, I still do get entertained by the Acclaim. I find them entertaining. Yeah, the rap, okay, that's a whole other story. But I'm more of the opinion that just the Young Bucks being there ruins the match. It just ruins the match. And it gets to the point where I prefer the Acclaim to actually win this match compared to the Young Bucks. That's how that's how much I hate the Young Bucks. Because at least the Acclaim, as city as they are, they still have some good moves. They still have some talent. But the Young Bucks, they have zero talent. The Young Bucks have like no business being in wrestling at all. Like they do not fight good. They don't look good. Their gimmick is stupid. They're just fucking annoying all the time. Like it's just like fucking annoying. But I do have to say about Okada, he really is there collecting a paycheck, and I almost feel like Okada got signed into AEW, and he was probably thinking like, okay, like it's gonna be awesome, like it's gonna be a good crossover to, do this business, in American wrestling, like he was gonna make it big. But then Tony Khan decided, oh, let's put Okada with the Young Bucks. And it's like it's already in the contract, so it's like he has no way out of it. So he may as well just go along with the flow and just get with the program and say, scissor me, bitch.
Now you have to say that
And he's just getting a paycheck out of it,
Now you have to say that right there from Johnny's own mouth, despite like the match and everything, Johnny proves that everyone loves the Acclaim. Sesame.
That will hurt you.
As far as I'm concerned, this is the best way I could put the whole Okada thing. It's kind of like having a big brand name being reduced to a discount store. So it's like, finally the new Jordans are out. Yay! At Walmart. What? Wait, why? Like it just
Target.
Like
Oh,
it
at
doesn't.
Kmart.
Oh God, you can still find some. Jeez.
Oh, you know what? It does remind me of those celebrities that sell like their clothing brand and you think it's going to be big, but then, we're selling it at Kmart or Walmart.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the feeling I get.
Could be worse. Could be like the Dollar General. Okay. So the winner of this match, we were all split on this one. So the only ones to get a point for this because the Elite and Okada won, were Panda, Jack, and DJF. They and me and Mark and Johnny all went for the Acclaimed with Tanahashi. All right, the next match, bitch, is Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi. This was there was a lot of good technical moves in this match. So, and that's something to expect with Bryan Danielson. I still wanted to hear the greatest countdown, the final countdown, I wanted that. But, it cost $200,000 a pop, apparently. So,
Well, because they already paid for Okada, they paid for Monet, and they paid for Ospreay, so
yeah, they can't afford it.
can't afford good cameramen.
That
But,
either.
yeah, it's a pretty good match. Now, the Shingo one, right?
No.
Nope, Bryan Danielson won that one by
Yeah.
submission.
Trying to remember, it might be spoilers for later on, but I forgot, which was the match where the one dude won by literally tying every possible body part of the person?
That's the Orange Casket.
Ah, okay.
I call it we'll get to that in a moment, what I actually called that match, but okay, but the Bryan Danielson versus Shingo match, yes, I remember liking it because like I said, it was good technical moves, and I like technical wrestling. It's easier to follow, and you try to see how they're gonna kick out, what they're gonna do, try to submit, try to get one another to submit. But my problem is I don't remember the finish of the match.
Me neither.
Because that's a situation where I was a little.
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't he give a submission move or something?
Did Shingo tap out?
No, wasn't that the one where because I know you hate submission tap outs, but it was like he didn't tap out. He just got.
That's right.
He just got unconscious.
Yeah, and I was like, no. Honestly, like, did you still want Hulk Hogan? I said, no. Shingo.
That's the one for me, brother.
Yeah, that's how I felt about it. I was rooting for Shingo. I just wanted Shingo to win. Because to me, Bryan Danielson at this point, it's just more like he seems to be just doing dream matches to me. And it just seems like he doesn't really need a title run. He don't need any of that stuff, in my opinion. I just think he wants to just, I'm living out my dream. I'm fighting all these cool dudes, Like Edge wanted to do until he was a jackass and broke his leg, but
Now I want Okada to be like, doesn't work for me, bitch.
mic drop.
Anyways. But yeah, I don't remember too much about the match. I know it was obviously because of the Daniel Bryan match, more technical than most and everything. But yeah, I think we were just talking and stuff. Too many people, too much like outside simulation. Starting public an actual match, because you got like cool friends and stuff.
Yeah, and I usually take more notes too, but I didn't this time. So how about you guys?
But I like this one friend. I'm not saying names or anything, but I like this one friend of hers that was imitating Mr. T during the matches. So it was funny because they're doing all this stuff, and he's like, "You're gonna get some pain, Rocky," and all that. And I was cracking up every time he did that. So I was distracted by all the camaraderie. I guess since you were essentially like taking notes and keeping track of what you were kind of paying more attention than I was, but it was just funny.
I didn't take any notes because I was too laughing at all.
No, but keeping track of who won, who lost, who went.
Oh yeah,
that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the minute, they're like, Rocky, we're gonna get some pain. Better burn that Rocky. Like the whole thing. That was funny.
Oh, Will, when he gets some pain. Yeah. sorry, Will, and Johnny. Go ahead.
No, it's totally fine. But no, you're right. Bryan Danielson is slowly turning into that Goku meme where it's like, I'm the strongest wrestler in the world, and then he just runs through the door, boom. So I heard you were strong. He doesn't. It's not even he's worried about titles or feuds anymore. It's just like anytime that there's a very strong Japan wrestler that comes in the door, he's just like foaming at the mouth, like, let me at him. I want a shot at him. Let me at him. I don't care about storyline. I don't give a shit about a feud. Let me go. Which makes him pretty interesting because, here you got two really good technical wrestlers, which I'm surprised because both of them are normally strikers. And the other guy, he's kind of a powerhouse striker. So seeing him do technical work and seeing them go at it that long was actually pretty interesting. Like, it was a fairly decent match. The submission by unconsciousness did kind of bother me a little bit. Like, I think there could have been a better way to do that, like either by pin or, by tap out just for, more reassurance. But yeah, otherwise, that was a pretty straightforward, really good technical match. I would actually hope that, if they do another Forbidden Door, they have a part 2 to that match, like a rematch of it.
Mm.
I mean, I wouldn't say sign him on and get him over there because then he'd just be another joke character, bitch.
No, I
he'd be another
forgot.
joke character. But no, but otherwise, if they do a Forbidden Door 2, Forbidden Door 2, I'd definitely love to see a rematch between those two. It was a good match.
Now I'm trying to remember because I know that at one point Daniel Bryan did announce that I think this was be his last year of wrestling, but didn't he later announce that he's just gonna keep going with dream matches as long as he can or something, or that just imagine that?
I don't know. He might have said that, but then again, like knowing him, he's probably gonna be like a Ric Flair style wrestler, except he's actually good.
He can actually
shots
stand
fired.
while his legs wobbling.
He's gonna be like, I'm retiring, and they'll be in like New Japan the next week with a cane. I'm back, bitches. One of those type deals. Like he's one of those types that, even with all the injuries and everything, he would not stay out of the game for long. I mean, this guy was trying to wrestle his next match that Monday night and then realized, oh shit, I have a broken arm. So,
Yeah.
And mind you, that was against Okada. So that's saying a lot.
Yeah, so that that's how I just felt about him in general. I couldn't see him just stop. And like I said, he just seemed to be there like, hey, I'm just having fun,
Yeah.
Like I say, he doesn't care about any of that other type of stuff. So that's why I actually figured he was going to lose this match. And or something. Then they build like just a little itty bitty feud there because he's still mad at him because of what he did on what would he beat up Utah or something?
Oh yeah, it was like a personal because he did take out Utah during the tournament.
And that's the
So
thing that
Brian said kind of went with that mentality that you hurt Utah, you hurt the rest of us, that kind of shit.
And here's the thing, I kind of forgot about all of that. I was just thinking along the lines of Bryan Danielson doing a match against a Japanese wrestler because he probably always wanted to do it as opposed to, oh yeah, he'll be mad at him. So that's why I was going for Chingo. Because I totally forgot about that part of it.
That makes it even worse. Instead of calling him the American Dragon, I'm just going to start calling him the American Goku from now on. Anytime he sees a strong Japanese wrestler, he's about to go up against them. Like
or the American Dragon Slayer.
Oh, I like
dude, they should just team up Brian. Well, I guess they already are kind of teamed up, but like a tag team, not the whole group, but just Danielson and Moxley, and just call them the Dragon Slayers. That's all they do. They go out against all the Japanese stars and beat them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Considering it's Moxley, they call it the Blood Dragon, but we're not gonna go there.
Oh Lord. All right, Johnny. How about you? What did you think about this? The Danielson and Takagi match.
I really don't remember too much about this match, but because it's Bryan Danielson, the match is very technical and it was kind of a long match as well. And I will have to say that this match is a totally different contrast compared to the stupid match I had with the Young Bucks. So compare that match with the following match with Bryan Danielson, he might be a very bland wrestler, but at least he does take wrestling seriously. So I will give you that. And yeah, it was still a good match. And yeah, I would have still preferred to see Shingo win this match. I think it would have been a little different than just seeing Bryan Danielson winning every single match.
All right, now for this one, the winner of the match was Bryan Danielson, and everyone gets a point except for me and Mark, because we both went for Shingo.
Mm.
Now the next match is, our Keijo match without any Keijo moves. Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa.
I don't remember too much of the match. I know it's a pretty intense match. I think lots of the people here did like Mina's energy and her music and upbeat and all that.
Yeah. Oh, and I like Mina's intro theme and all that stuff. Now, here's the thing I do remember because of our other friend that was here, the we'll call him Mr. T, okay? But he was pretty much saying while Logan said, "Wow, they could probably make out in the ring." And he was jokingly saying that. And at the end of this match, when Mariah came in, because she was on the side, let Mina and Toni do their fighting or whatever.
Which, by the way, Toni Storm won and retained the title.
Yeah, and we all get a point for that because who figured? I mean, seriously, why would she lose? But anyway, and Toni and Mariah and Mina all did a three-way kiss. And I have to actually agree with Brian last on this one. If you know who he is, he was pretty much saying, who is this aimed at? Who is this for? Audience-wise, who are they trying to get? Because when you think about it, I don't think that's going to entice many female viewers. I mean, they have the women's department, they're trying to say, oh, yay! Oh, but it still seems kind of silly. I mean, I just think it's funny.
No, I gotta give credit for the cameraman being able to capture that shot one-handed.
Sorry, children. But anyway, though, it's just, I don't know, like, what are they going for by having that kind of energy? I mean, it kind of gives off like maybe early, like not late 90s, early 2000s, Vince McMahon-ish kind of stuff, but not as bad.
Yeah, but in this case, I'm sure all three women consented to that. Because I don't see Tony Khan being all like Vince, like I don't care what they say, you three are gonna do it, even though I don't care, you do what I say, and you all three kiss on TV. I'm pretty sure that in this case, at least, all three women wanted to do that or agreed to do that.
Yeah, more than likely. But I'm just saying, just in a general sense, like, who are they trying to? What audience are they trying to?
The cultured gentlemen of the audience.
Yeah, the preteens.
Well,
the little teen boys.
We start young, but we are still cultured and civilized.
No, but the match as a whole, I don't really remember much about it. It's just more so the storytelling. So at the end, Mina and Toni, Mina actually, is okay with Toni for an extent, but they're still kind of have this thing, like,
sort of. Toni's still
Mariah saying
up and all that.
Yeah, and Mariah is and Mina's still saying Mariah is hers, but then Toni's like, no, she's her. I mean, that whole thing is like a love triangle here.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. But it's just more so the story aspect. I remember more about it. And I'm still curious where they're going to go with this now. I mean, are they bringing Mina into AEW, or are they going to finally do some more with Mariah now? I mean, oh wait, I forgot. She shouldn't even be able to form sentences. But, this is AEW.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, I don't know how Toni Storm, like, that move, man. I don't know, her flying ass attack. I don't know how that doesn't give the woman that receives a fucking concussion up against a turnbuckle. It always just get hit so bad, like the girl's head always like jolts back so violently against it. I don't know how that's not a concussion.
Yeah. Mm.
That is just too much ass flying towards your head for it to be a... Oh, that's the thing. Near the beginning of the match, she like grabbed her hand or something and just booped her in the face with her butt.
Oh.
With of course your buddy pointed out.
Yeah, yep. he surely did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, despite the Raw era style of mischief at the beginning of the match, I really don't remember too much about it. I do remember that ending where, they're fighting over Mina, and I'm just like, is this gonna be like a Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio battle over Dominic style custody deal? Like,
I think I missed the part where those
leading up to
kids,
here.
though.
Oh, well, we don't really want that, so...
Like, what are they leading up to with this? I mean, if they give her a contract and then they both, wrestle and have Mina decide or whatever, okay, yeah, that'll be cool. But otherwise, like, I don't remember too much of this match. It was just like, okay, it was a thing. It happened.
Wait, what if they're trying to do this thing where if they do bring Mina in, and they're going to have like Mina, Mariah, and Toni go up against Saraya and her team or something?
It could be, but the thing is, it depends because you know how it is. All of this was lead up to Forbidden Door. Now that Forbidden Door is over, I mean, we probably won't see Mina again till next whenever.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at this point, what did he do with Mariah?
Mariah's still going to be Tony's little Tony Storm wannabe until I'm assuming until Tony Storm drops the title and maybe they'll do a thing where she gets back to her old self or something. But
like I said, I already have my theory that Mariah May wins the Owen Hart tournament, as opposed to maybe Willow, and then Mariah gets a title shot against Tony at Wembley.
yeah, that could be it.
And then maybe Mina will be in Mariah's corner.
Yeah.
Something.
One thing I can see that happening is that at the beginning, Tony is gonna act like her, like oh, it was such a pleasure, I'll give her the privilege and all that kind of shit. Like she's not gonna like it's whatever, like it's good that her protege can test her skills against her and all that kind of crap. But then the closer we get to the night of the match, there'll be more animosity and there'll be more stuff, and there'll be more like Mariah saying, I look up to you and stuff, but like I want that title, and all that. And I mean, we'll see. And I would hate to see the Timeless Tony Storm thing end though, but I guess that would be the way to end it. If she drops her title, she might turn back to her regular self.
Yeah. Thinking in the long term is not a
Tony Khan thing.
Yeah, so who knows?
But with Mina though, on one side, let's see what happens because I'm pretty sure she's back to Japan where now that the Forbidden Door is over.
Mhm.
But if she's still there, it would be interesting because Toni Storm would be probably unstoppable if she has both Mariah and Mina as her entourage.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta say right off the bat, I didn't know Toni Storm had this love affair, this love triangle situationship going on, for starters. I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, all of a sudden, like, damn, I didn't know that.
I don't think Tony knew either.
I do think you do have to remember that this also happened during Pride Month, so it might be for that reason.
Oh,
but
yeah.
kind of said, Wendy, the way they did it, it's giving me that 2000-ish, like, kind of like, I don't want to say the word because, like, YouTube and all that shit, but it's kind of like porn material version of that. So
wait. You said porn, right? Porn.
Yeah, porn. So it's giving me the doing it more like to entice the gentleman of culture audience. Like that's the vibe I was getting from that. But either ways, I was so like, wow, Toni Storm. I didn't know she had this whole love triangle thing going on with what's her name?
Mina, Shirakawa, and Mariah.
Yeah, like holy smokes.
It's like Mariah is the trophy. She's the prize. Like
it's like on top of Toni Storm doing the Hollywood gimmick, it's also having the love triangle.
It's just
interesting. Interesting. The match was still pretty good, but I think that the storyline it's just so distracting that it kind of takes away a little bit from the match itself, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I have to agree with you there because, like I said, I was more remembering stuff about the little storyline going on, the ridiculous storyline going on there, as opposed to anything that happened in the match.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the finish. All right.
Right.
So for this match, everybody gets a point because, as mentioned earlier, no one really expected Mina to win, and it's Toni Storm. I couldn't see her just dropping the belts there. Now the next match on this list, oh boy, is Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr. And I just don't know what we saw with the twisting and the tying up and
Yeah.
and
I do want to say that Tony Storm King, it was the Storm Zero as the finisher, her power driver.
oh, that's what she did. Oh, okay, it's coming back a little. But like it's like Johnny was saying, it's like the whole story kind of overshadowed the match itself. So yeah,